If you're a Garmin wearable user and you have a Garmin watch, this is going to be pretty exciting for you because Garmin has finally updated the Garmin Connect app on your phone and the Garmin user interface even on the website to be a lot more modern. And in this video today, I'm gonna walk through what it looks like and give you sort of a rundown on the pros and cons of this new interface. Before we dive all the way into the app on my phone though, I just wanna give you a quick disclaimer that right now this version of Garmin Connect on my phone is in beta. This is not the full production release. In fact, it's not available for everybody just yet. And I gave you that disclaimer because right now at the time of filming this video, there are a few things that are kind of strange and missing about this new user interface that I suspect will be fixed in the final version. So with that said, let's get right into it. Before we get to the new version of Garmin Connect, let's take a look at the old version of Garmin Connect first, sort of as a palette cleanser, just to remind you what it used to or what it currently looks like. As you can see, here is the current version of Garmin Connect on my phone. At the top, you can see my little thumbnail, little picture of me. And as I scroll down, you'll see all of my stats sort of in this vertical scrolling layout. And yes, I know my training readiness and my recovery and my heart rate look terrible because I'm actually getting over a bit of a cold and I've been traveling for the past week and I'm very tired. So just bear with me as we go through this. I'm not going to dive through every little detail of the current version of Garmin Connect because if you're a Garmin user, you already know what this looks like. So let's just scroll all the way to the bottom and all the way back to the top, and then I'll enable the beta version so we can sort of compare and contrast. So I just flipped over into beta mode, and what you're seeing now is the beta version of Garmin Connect, the updated version of Garmin Connect. And as you can see, it looks very different than the old version. All the way at the top of the screen here, you're gonna see a new section called In Focus. This In Focus section is horizontally scrolling, as you can see here. So all the way on the left, I've got my sleep metrics, then body battery, and my step tracking for the day. And when I scroll down, you've got this new arrangement of cards or widget glances. And as you can see, I've got my heart rate, my intensity minutes, calories burned, stress tracking, and more. And then all the way at the bottom are challenges. Just keep in mind, this is sort of the default layout for the new version of Garmin Connect, and it's fully customizable. In fact, when you first log into the new version of Garmin Connect, it's going to run you through a quick questionnaire, and it'll ask you what's important in your daily life. That could be things like weight management, stress tracking, activity tracking, and a bunch more. And after you fill in that survey the first time you log in, it will actually populate your homepage depending on what's important to you. So if I scroll all the way to the bottom of the page here, you're gonna notice a little button that says Edit Home. And if I click on that, you're gonna see that there's several sections I can turn on and off here. So at the top is the In Focus section, which I can completely disable if I don't wanna see that. Then we have the Add a Glance or the widget glances. And at the bottom are events, training plans, and challenges. And for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna turn everything on so we can see it on the home screen. Now, all the way at the top, you can see that it says Edit in Focus. That's that horizontally scrolling area. And if I tap on that, you can see that I can add or remove any of these fields that I wanna see at that top of the page there. Now let's dive into the Add a Glance section. And if I click the Edit button, you can see that I can add and remove data fields in here as well. And I can also move these data fields around. If I want a certain field at the top or at the bottom, I can do that here by just kind of holding on any of those three-lined hamburger menu things and dragging them around, as you can see there. But from here, I can go ahead and click the Add button, and I can scroll down through a whole bunch of different metrics that I want to see here, like blood pressure, body battery. I'll add that. I'll click Add again. We'll put my HRV status in there. We'll go ahead and add some more stuff like last activity. I can now scroll down and see all these different data fields if I click that See All button. Now you can see in that See all the glances are available, and when I scroll down, you can see all of the things I just added, from my estimated VO2 max at the bottom there to my training status, my training readiness, the hill score, load focus, my HRV, which looks awful because I've been traveling, like I said before, my last activity, body battery, and so on and so forth. Let's jump back out to the home screen here. And if I scroll down, we can see those three other sections I added in the settings. So first up, we have events. And from here, you can find an event or create an event if you have an upcoming race you want to keep track of. We also have training plans. And this is using Garmin's built-in training platform. So if I click Find Plan, you can see I can choose a running plan and go up to a half marathon, which is kind of a limitation. It's kind of a bummer. I wish they went all the way up to like a 50K at least, but they don't. And if I wanted to, I can add the training plan. And every time I log into Garmin Connect, my training plan will be front and center to let me know what I should be doing on a given day. Another interesting thing about this new Garmin Connect layout is that it's not just in the app, it's also available on the desktop web portal version when you're in Google Chrome or Safari or whatever on your desktop computer. It looks very much like this. In fact, what's really cool about this is that the layout from your phone will sync over to the layout on the desktop version. So if you move a widget glance around on your phone, it would also appear at the top in the web portal when I log in on my computer. Now that I've showed you the new Garmin Connect dashboard and how it's set up, let's talk about some of the pros and cons here. First of all, the pros, we'll mention what I like about it first. I actually do like this layout quite a bit more than the old version, because that horizontal scrolling thing at the top is kind of nice. It's easy to see things at a glance. And I do like the vertical square layout of the cards below that. There's just more information on the screen at a given glance to get more info without having to scroll through all the different menus and stuff. So I do appreciate that. I also think this new dashboard is a bit more modern looking and a little bit more refreshed as compared to the old version. And it's just, yeah, it's just kind of nice to look at. Plus, I think I was just eager for a change in Garmin Connect, something new to look at, and we finally have that. I also really like the level of customization that's available here. You can move things around, you can add and remove as you please, and that questionnaire or survey to set it up when you first log in is really nice for users who aren't super familiar with the platform. Now that I've talked about what I like about this new Garmin Connect layout, let's talk about what I don't like about it. And the first thing I'll mention is that this only affects the dashboard in Garmin Connect. Literally the only aspect that has been updated is the dashboard when you first log in, which of course is the thing you will interact with the most. But if you do dive into the calendar, for example, it's the same as before. If you dive into the More tab and click on anything here, from activities to health stats to performance stats, it's all the same. Nothing has been updated other than the home page when you hit the home button. So just keep that in mind. I guess that's not really a con, but it is something to keep in mind. And I was hoping for sort of a global update to the entire platform, but we don't have that yet. Another thing I don't like about this new layout on the home page is that it's missing some information. For example, on the previous version of Garmin Connect, there were a couple of widgets at the bottom for 7-day averages. So you could see a 7-day average of your activity, your steps, your heart rate, your resting heart rate, and all of that information, including your sleep data and stuff like that, was averaged over 7 days and presented in a nice clean widget at the bottom of the screen, which no longer exists in this beta version of Garmin Connect, which is kind of a bummer. I'm hopeful they'll fix that and maybe add it in as an additional card you can turn on in the future. But currently in this beta form, it doesn't exist. Another thing I don't love about this new version is actually the process of editing the pages. If you want to add a bunch of information to your glances and click that add button, you have to do this individually. For example, if I want to click altitude acclimation, I click that. Now I have to go back and click the add button again to get back here. Then I can click pulse ox. Then I have to go down again, click the add button again. Now I can click training load, go down. Now I can click add again. You get the idea. It's like a repetitive process of you have to click add, click the thing, go back, click add, click the thing. I wish they just put check marks next to all these things so I could, batch select a bunch of things and have it all done in one click and click save, but that's not the way it is yet. And the final thing I'll mention here that's not really a pro or a con, I guess it's a con, is I feel like there's a bit of a missed opportunity here with this new layout. For example, I wish at the top of the page there was like a daily summary or like a real-time summary to let you know if there's any red flags going on with your health metrics. For example, if you didn't sleep great the night before, or your body batteries are tanked, or your HRV is unbalanced. It would be cool if they could just present that right at the top of the screen with sort of like a, emergency icon, just to let the user know there's something going on, rather than forcing the user to scroll through all this data and look for anything abnormal. And I only mention this because all of the competition out there, for example, the Whoop Band or the Oura Ring, that sort of do this already. They let you know if there's something going on right off the bat. And I think Garmin has the ability to do this as well because they have a ton of data about your daily wellness, and they could just find the irregularities and present it to you. But they don't do that. Again, this is in beta, and this is my feedback to Garmin, so hopefully they watch this and add that. That would be kind of cool. And with that, that's sort of the end of this super quick video about this new beta version of Garmin Connect. There's more to it than that, but I just want to give you a quick rundown and what I think about it so so far, sort of the pros and cons after a few days of using it. In terms of availability, it is available in beta now, so if you are a beta user, you can go into your settings and turn this on. However, to the masses, to everybody else out there, you will have to wait until they sort of iron things out. And I suspect within a couple of months, this will be available for everybody. Don't hold me to that because I don't work for Garmin or know anything about it, but that would be my guess. And that's really it for this one. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, please consider going down and giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel down below so you don't miss more videos from me in the future. That'd be great. Also, please check out my podcast in the description down below. Check out my Instagram while you're down there and the merch store where you can pick out some sweet Chase to Summit swag like this holographic sticker. These are really cool. And with that, I'll see you next time. I've got a whole bunch coming up. I'll see you soon.